Do you want to know more about your favorite beverage? Interested in how they're made and what foods pair with them? This is a special preview of one of the lessons in our exclusive online education platform. Our mission is to share our love of spirits and wine with humor, heart, and a little rebellion. Join the party with the QR code on the screen or using the link in the video description. By the way, if it looks a little robotic, we use technology to help us get you the best information as fast as we can. Cheers. Bourbon's distinction as a unique American whiskey lies in its strict adherence to a specific set of legal standards outlined by U.S. law. Understanding these standards helps demystify what sets bourbon apart from other whiskeys. According to the Federal Standards of Identity for Distilled Spirits, a product must meet the following criteria to be labeled as bourbon, made in the USA. Bourbon is a product with a protected geographic designation, meaning it must be made within the United States to legally bear the name. While Kentucky produces the lion's share of bourbon, distilleries from all over the U.S. contribute to its diversity. Grain composition. At least 51% of the mash bill must be made up of corn. The remainder can consist of grains, such as rye, wheat, or malted barley. The predominance of corn is what gives bourbon its inherent sweetness, setting it apart from other types of whiskey like rye, which has a spicier flavor. Distillation and barreling proof. Bourbon must be distilled at no more than 160 proof, 80% ABV, and entered into the barrel at no more than 125 proof, 62.5% ABV. These limits are in place to preserve the natural flavors derived from the grains and fermentation process, ensuring the whiskey remains full-bodied and flavorful. Aging in new charred oak barrels. Bourbon must be aged in new charred oak barrels. This is a crucial aspect of bourbon production, as the interaction between the wood and the whiskey imparts key flavors like caramel, vanilla, and oak. The char refers to the process of burning the inside of the barrels, which caramelizes the wood's natural sugars, infusing the bourbon with additional depth of flavor. No additives. Unlike some other whiskeys, bourbon cannot include any additives such as coloring, flavoring, or artificial ingredients. All of the flavor in bourbon must come from the grains, the fermentation process, distillation, and the aging in oak barrels. Aging requirements. While there is no minimum aging requirement for bourbon, straight bourbon must be aged for at least 2 years, and any bourbon aged less than 4 years must disclose its age on the label. This aging process is essential for developing the spirit's character, as younger bourbons tend to have more grain-forward flavors, while older bourbons exhibit a complex interplay of wood, spice, and caramel notes. These legal definitions ensure that the term bourbon maintains its integrity and consistency, allowing consumers to know exactly what they are getting.